Hi everyone and welcome to today's thank card. It's Friday. Today we'll be making a Just Because butterfly card. We'll be going to use the Stampin' Up! Butterflies dies as well as the A Dozen Thoughts stamp set and the watercolor wings as well. The inks we'll be using is Blackberry, Bliss and Rich Razzleberry and some Versamark as well for some heat embossing. We'll be using the Stampin' Up! Large Polka Dots embossing folder, Sahara sand, basic black, vellum cardstock, and this timeless Elegance designer series paper. This paper is just beautiful. As you can see here, I show you some of the pages, and I'm just in awe how elegant this actual set is. Just very beautiful to play with. So then my next couple of thank card, it's Friday, is probably going to be using this beautiful paper. Alright, so now I've mounted the butterflies, watercolor butterfly wings here. You can see it's stained from the Blackberry Bliss, but it'll be fine to use still, and it doesn't affect your stamping at all. This is the Rich Razzleberry, so I'm using the actual base. This is the old felt ink pad, and I got the ink all over my hands before my practice run. Okay, so here I am putting stamping on Whisper White cardstock, and this is the full piece of wings. And so I've got the Blackberry Bliss, and I'm going to be using the outer sections of the butterfly wings. So this one here. And because it's foam, you've got to be careful not to press so hard. You can see it actually went all over, but it doesn't affect the stamping. So here is the outer corner, the outsides of the actual butterfly wings, and it's just adding great detail to this stamp. I just love how intricate you can make this stamp set, so many dimensions and ways, and so many color combinations out there at the moment to play with. I just wanted to have mine more like a monotone type of butterfly set. So back to Rich Razzleberry, and so it's just subtle. I didn't want the inside to be very, very strong, but as you can see, it's just turning out fabulous. Now I'm getting the coordinating die and going to run this through the Big Shot. As you can see, I haven't stamped the actual middle section of the butterfly, and I will do that now. So that way I can line that up and see through where I'm stamping. I've done it the other way, and I just seem to just chop off the head, or if I'm too high or too low. And so here we go. That's been stamped there, and I'll just set that aside and just clean my surface and prepare the next step. So I've got the butterfly thinlits die here. I've got some vellum. I'm going to run that through the Big Shot, and it's just the vellum. Why I've chosen vellum, it's a little bit see-through, and it's not so strong. I just wanted to add an extra feature to the butterfly. I was toying whether I should put it behind, but I honestly like it in front. So I've got my Sahara sand card base. I'm just going to adhere it using my snail, and just placing that on the right hand side, butt up against the right hand side. Now I'm going to actually grab my embossing folder, which I nearly forgot about. I was going to put that down straight away, but I realized I better emboss it. But what I'll do this first. Emboss with white detail embossing powder, the Just Because sentiment. I love the script font of this. It's very elegant. And I'll just grab a baby wipe because the Versamark's quite sticky, and I didn't really want it to be so have brush off extra more than I have to. I forgot to use the embossing buddy, so you will see that I'll have to bring my brush out. I always forget it. I try and remember. Some days I remember, some days I just don't. So the white detail embossing powder here, I'll try and take as much as I can off, but I will need to end up grabbing my brush and brushing a little bit of it off here. It's not much. It wasn't too bad. It would have been worse if I actually had didn't wipe my sentiment, as I find that the Versamark on that particular stamp set, because I press hard, it's, it'll get the corners around it. So just heat setting this. I just love the white detail embossing powder on the black. It really stands out. All right, just about done. Just going over it just in case, just double checking I've got all the powder, melted all the powder off. There you go. Now, this is where I remember, I nearly forget. So I just put this upside down. Because it's a top folding card, I'm going through to the bottom. I'm going to run this through the brick shop. As you can see, it just adds that little bit of detail to the card, the texture. Okay, so I'm going to snail this down. I'm just trying to figure out, I cut the black strip a little bit longer because I just wanted to make sure when I heat emboss, I'm going to play with the sentiment, how high or how far it goes up. So I'm going to just snip the top just to give me a little guideline to where I'm going to snip and snail down. Just using my snail, I'm going to adhere that down and using that where I snipped as a guide and placing that down. There you go. Okay, just snipping either side of that now because I made sure I had enough room to do that. And I'm just going to stick the wings down with some glue dots. So just something simple as glue dots, adhering these down. I love these glue dots. They're quick and easy, they're strong adhesive, and my cards just don't move when I just use these glue dots. It's great to have handy in your stash. Okay, so that's the top section of my card finished, and I realized, you know what, I'm going to add some detail to the bottom of the card inside. So using the other half of that designer series paper, I'm going to adhere that down using the snail again. Sometimes I like to carry on my project to have the running theme on the inside as well. It adds that fun little element and extra handmade cotton goodness to it all. Right, so I'm also continuing the same kind of theme with the black strip of black cardstock, but this is a little bit thinner. I don't need to stamp a sentiment on it. And just adhering that down. So just grabbing my paper snips and just taking that off. And just leaving it like that, just simple enough, it's continued the elegance from the top to the bottom inside of the card. Just love it. All right, there you go. Hope you enjoyed Thank Card. It's Friday today. Happy paper crafting, peeps. Have a lovely weekend. See you later.